If you, yes you, want to make a good PvP build, then you've come to the right place. By the end of this video, you will be a god build maker in Deepwoken. The most important task you must do before making stats is realizing what build you want to make. Do you want your build to revolve around a certain weapon? If so, what do you want it to prioritize in? We have damage, sustain, or utility. We're going to first start off with high damage. So what you would need to do is use talents with high damage multipliers and pen. Example being Lose Your Mind, which is a 20% damage buff, and Piercing Will, which is a 15% pen bonus. I'm assuming you have no idea what pen is, so I'll explain. Pen means penetration, and in this case, it would be penetrating the physical and elemental armor resistances, which is the white bar in front of you. If you press tab, you will see your resistances on the side. Now, this is where pen truly comes into play. If another player has 30% physical armor and you have 50% melee pen, then their physical armor will now be 15%. 100% pen would mean 0% physical armor. Probably thinking pen is pretty busted until you realize there's talents that can lower your pen, like reinforced armor, which is a 30% enemy pen reduction. So now, the 100% pen just becomes a 70%, along with your opponent now having 9% physical armor. For the damage side of things, there's a 150% soft cap, where buffs are severely lowered, along with the 175% damage hard cap that cannot be bypassed unless you have taunt, in which the damage cap then becomes 195% until the buff ends. Now that we know how damage and pen works, the last thing you want to do for a high damage build would be to read Ishin's Ring in Ring of Caster's description, and lastly, read the Deepwoken wiki talents for pen/damage talents for the future. For high sustain builds, you of course want to use reinforced armor, exoskeleton, charismatic cast, but also talents that boost your health regeneration rate, like Conditioning Runner, and use enchants that can either give you a health like Vampirism or a large health regeneration boost like the NLK enchant. You will also want to prioritize talents that give health, as it can stack up all together, giving you an extra 30 to 80 HP on your builds. Now that health is done, the last thing there is would be utility. Utility is unique because it revolves around how talents work and coexist with each other. An example would be Charge Return and Flame Within. Flame Within gives a 10% damage buff along with a 5% speed boost. That will proc Speed Demon. But the most significant factor would be that you set yourself ablaze becoming a Fire Force Demon, which will proc Charge Return. Since Charge Return makes it so if you're under an elemental sass effect, your M1s are buffed significantly by 15%, then this is a good example of utility in terms of talents. But there's also something else that revolves around utility, being mantras. Mantras that have utility factors can give you a big advantage, like being able to do fast, high damage combos, with an example being Stormblaze, which stuns the opponent, and then you can follow up with Thunder Kick, which leaves the opponent with a small parry window, increasing the chance of you hitting them. But on to the big question.
How do I make an insanely tanky, high-damage GODSEEKER build?
I'm not going to leave you like that, however. So I'll tell you the main thing GODSEEKER builds have. GODSEEKER builds have a balance of damage, tank, and utility. The main talents they typically have are Reinforced Armor, Spine Cutter, Exoskeleton, Speed Demon, and rarely ever-changing Aegis. Which might also help is that GODSEEKERs typically use advanced movement techs like roll canceling behind opponents to follow up with Spine Cutter, or mantra feinting to bait an opponent into a block or dodge to increase the chance of them being hit by their next attack. Of course, you're also going to have those cheesy slop seekers that hide and run away with So in Mend, scampering around like months the millisecond the round starts. At the end of the day, you shouldn't believe that all GODSEEKers are good, nor their builds, as sometimes they're boosted months, while other times they're built like Super, with crazy skill but god-awful builds. At the end of the day, whatever you build you make will be great. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, then make sure to like and subscribe. And if we get 30 likes, then I'll make a guide on how to farm God roll equip. Other than that, have a nice day.
Meow. Meow.